Are you ready for combat night?
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We are down here in Fort Lauderdale for Combat Night. Fort Lauderdale. Thanks for giving us a wait. We have planned to jump on and about some of the fights that we have coming up this weekend, and also some of the fights we have coming in the near future. And make sure you subscribe to our page and hit a like on this video. Get us on out there. Let's get a few more people in the chat with us, and I will be joined by a couple of our Combat Night staples, including the best cut man in the state, Coach Ben. What's up, man?
It's me. It's me. It's the D-O-double-G. What's up?
Hey, what's up, man? We got a card coming up this weekend, and how you been?
Man, I have been wonderful.
You look like you got some sun.
Dude, I sit on my patio. That's it. But then again, I'm very fair. I will get a burn literally walking from the backside of the Publix parking lot to the Publix. So it's not a gift.
So we've got some exciting fights this weekend here in Fort Lauderdale. Looking forward to it. As you and Miles often debate, who puts on the most exciting fights in Combat Night?
It is not a debate, my friend. We both know, gosh darn well, what city brings, as Wu-Tang Clan would say, the motherfucking ruckus. And we know it's the dirtiest of the dirty South. Fort Lauderdale, all day, every day, no questions asked.
Yeah, I think we got about 15 fights on this card for tomorrow. Handful.
The card looks real stacked, man.
Yeah, it's a good one. And I kind of wanting our CEO to jump on so he can weigh in as we start to chat about these fights. But
as the card's kicking off, we have a lot of debuters, but when we get past like the halfway point on the card, we are looking at some goodies.
Do you have anybody competing tomorrow?
Yes, sir. I have two guys competing. In fight number 5, I have Corey Wint. He will be fighting Junior Quinones in a kickboxing match. And then in fight number 11, I will have Aiden Murray fighting Taj Barker in a mixed martial arts bout.
Nice. So you're going to be
triple duty.
Triple duty.
You know there's only one guy who can do this kind of stuff.
Yeah, you have your hands full tomorrow between wrapping them up, coaching them up, and chatting them up.
It's true. It's true. But it's okay. Because the best never rest, Ramsey. They never
That's
rest.
a fact. I'm going to go ahead and take this banner down. I'm going to go ahead and mention we got a couple shows on the horizon. Despite this one we have tonight, we got a show coming up, a pro show in Jacksonville on May 17th. And then we'll have another amateur show in Orlando on June 6th. And then we've got another pro show in St. Pete at the end of June. I think that's June 26th.
Where are we going in St. Pete this time?
We're going to that to the
Coliseum.
Coliseum, yes.
Man, that place was really, 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 really cool.
Yeah, I really like that venue. Yeah, and
it had this like cowboy saloon vibes, but just like way bigger. You know what I'm saying? Like the way it was built out was very
because it's got the big wooden floors and high ceiling, and they got the string lights and stuff. Yeah, it definitely has like a saloon.
It had like a very cozy feel. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, and I think Mitchell might talk about this. We've started to release fights for the May 17th event, and so make sure you're following us on Instagram. That's where all those fight notifications and releases happen. So check us out over there at Combat Night MMA.
I think consistently our Jacksonville cards are like bangers. Like every time we're up in Jacksonville, we're mostly doing the convention center. I can't remember a nightclub in Jacksonville. It's all the convention center, and every single time it thumps. Jacksonville might be better than Orlando. I'm just saying.
Well, we only do pro shows in Jacksonville right now. And me and Mitchell have scouted a couple of locations for. Oh, it looks like he's here. I'm gonna throw him in the mix.
So you're saying that Jacksonville has an unfair advantage because it is a
Slightly,
predominantly pro show.
but not for long, because we've been scouting some locations up there. I think we're looking to take a couple of amateur shows back to Jacksonville, and
Okay, I
that'll
thought
give
we
us
were
that.
doing vertical only. I'm the only guy in vertical over here. What's up?
No, we're all technically in vertical here.
Oh, you mean the structuring?
Yeah.
Man, I want my stuff horizontal.
And
Yeah,
so
there
we
you go.
have been not every town we've had nightclubs in for sure. Jacksonville was probably one of my favorites though, outside of obviously the Moon. But I think y'all talking about June 21st. It reminds me more of like a bomb shelter. I don't know why. I love it though.
Really?
It has bomb shelter vibes, but I love it. It's like I love that venue. Perfect size, all that.
It's got the cool little like booth all along the edge of
I
it.
really dig. It feels like a farmer's market.
That's the very first event we've had somebody have a heart attack at.
I did not know that.
Someone had a
There was
heart
a
attack
last time?
at that event. Yeah, I walked up on it while it was happening.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Dang.
They handled it. Not even an older dude, probably in his 50s.
You gotta take
they
care of
did
your
it.
health.
They did a good job of handling it, because I didn't even know that happened.
Yep.
Me neither.
All right, so we talked about some of the events we have coming up, but first and foremost, we have this event coming up this weekend, which will include a lightweight MMA title fight and a middleweight title fight, and a handful of other fights. A lot of 145ers on this card, both in kickboxing and in MMA. So let's just take it from the top and talk about our lightweight MMA title bout between Aldo the Dominator Dominguez and Daniel Ortega.
That fight has just ridiculous fireworks written all over it. Aldo fought a really good grappler in his last fight. Was able to sprawl and brawl and do a lot of damage. And I am excited to see him fight Ortega, who might be a little bit of a better wrestler, definitely more seasoned. Good at jiu-jitsu. It's going to be interesting. Striker versus grappler matchup.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
No, I was gonna say Ortega has a really good jab, which I remember from his last few fights. He's very sharp. He does grapple, but I don't see him as a submission threat. Striking wise, Aldo's 8-0 in kickboxing, man. That means something. And now he's got those small gloves on, and the man throws.
Yeah, he's undefeated in kickboxing, undefeated in MMA. Obviously, just like you said, classic striker versus maybe grappler type of matchup. And Ortega taking all of his bouts thus far with us. We love to see that.
Yes, sir. Aldo's a big step up from his recent level of competition. Aldo just has, in MMA, similar, but his kickboxing record is really kind of setting him apart. But on the opposite side, Daniel has that. He has I believe it's a judo black belt and possibly a Japanese jiu-jitsu black belt. So he's way more experienced on that grappling circuit. I have no clue what his smooth comp record might be like, but whoever controls the middle ground engagement is going to really dictate how this fight plays out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be really good.
And moving down the list, our co-main event is Victor Alvarez Jr. versus Carlos Sonia. I have that listed as a Muay Thai bout. Is that correct?
It is Muay Thai.
This is a rematch from the last one, right?
Yeah, it was Muay Thai last time, too. They didn't really do much clinching at all. Mm-hmm. Also, I felt like last time Vic was really chasing for the one-punch knockout. And yeah, I think it's a good rematch. I think Vic definitely made some mistakes in the last one. I felt like Carlos pretty one-handedly. I mean, he won that fight pretty handedly the first time.
Yeah.
But I do feel like Vic fought a little different. So I'm excited to see a rematch.
Yeah, Sone's movement in their
good.
last fight was fantastic. He was in, he was out, he was around, he was constantly off angle. And Alvarez's, abilities might have betrayed him because he was so chill and just wait, almost like Derek Lewis. Like, all I got to do is touch you, man, and this is over. But he kept accumulating damage. Small shot, small shot, small shot, chipping away, you know. It took Michelangelo how many strikes of a hammer to make, you know, a statue. You know, and Soné was just chipping away. And
by the
end,
end, he landed some big shots, too.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, I see all of Soné's wins have come by decision, so we know he's there to do work for the entire time, if that's what it calls for. So,
that's how it's got to be.
Couple of KOs on the record of Victor Alvarez.
Victor's right hand, left hook combination is, to be frank, disgusting.
When he puts it together.
He's so powerful, but it's the downfall of having such great ability in terms of like knockout power. You can just go, I'm gonna get it, and but you're just burning the clock. You're burning time. And yes, if you touch that jaw, good chance buddy's out. But what if you don't? Then you just burn off the last however many minutes, and now you're behind.
After that, we've got Brian Corzo versus Gertie Matthew in a bantamweight MMA bout, and Gertie Matthew, his 8th time in the Combatagon with us, coming off of a win in February against Brian Gonzalez, and Brian Corzo, you know, it looks like making his debut with us here in the. Did I say that right? Yeah, Corzo in the Combatagon. What do you guys think about that one?
You know, they're out of the Freedom Fighters gym. There's 3 guys in this card out of that. We don't always have them on our events. I think they just now got like a new pool of amateurs in the mix, but those guys are all savages over there at Freedom Fighters. I know these guys all come to fight every single time. They're leaving it all out there. Win, lose, or draw, you're going to know you were in a fight if you fight someone out of Freedom Fighters. So I have not seen Corzo fight, but they speak very highly of him. They're pretty real dudes. They keep it real, and I'm excited because Gertie's another guy that has a lot of experience in kickboxing, but also in the MMA now. You know, he's 2-2, had a rough start. I think at 0-2. Maybe is he 1-2?
I think he's 1-2.
1-2,
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 1-2. He really dove in the deep end though. Like his second fight, he's 0-1, and he's fighting a kid who's 4-3. Like, why would you? Why?
Yeah,
that's not smart matchmaking.
He don't.
I mean, now's definitely the time to do it as an amateur.
Yeah.
You know, take the risks, but survey the land a little bit more. Which is crazy because his striking record was so good.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't one of our Muay Thai champions, if I remember correctly?
Champions, yeah. He didn't lose. He didn't lose in striking. But I mean, he fought Julio Huban, who was a world team Cuban wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
He's fought, and then he went and fought a weird fight in New York. The fight in New York was like some weird rules, like 1 minute first round, 2 minutes second and third round, like no ground and pound. It was very weird. And he fought a wrestler, so he's putting himself in the deep end.
A wrestler with 7 fights at the time.
Oh, he had 7 at the time?
Yeah.
I heard you say that. I didn't think.
And to do it in such an awkward rule set.
Yeah, but hey, he's putting himself in that fire.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely testing the waters.
Not taking damage.
Yeah.
I love it.
He's very elusive,
Yeah.
He just gets stuck in weird spots, but when he can execute, he's very, very impressive. And we got to remember that throughout his entire kickboxing career, we kept commenting on the fact that his nickname is the Darce Knight.
Yeah.
which tells us that at his core, he's a grappler.
Yeah.
So
when he gets comfortable on the ground, it's going to be nice.
I mean, I would assume that would have been his specialty. Like, I was kind of expecting him to come out and try to put hands on people just for them to take him down and then be very disappointed when they find out it's a bad idea.
Yeah, but the guys he's been fighting that are on the ground with him are very nasty on the ground. Like Julio Huban, that's not and the other guy was a high-level wrestler too. It's like, Yeah, those are hard guys.
All right, the fight before that is going to be Marlena Drain and Maya Barbosa. Marlena coming in 0-1 and with one previous fight with Combat Night, and Maya, a Rise of a Warrior veteran, coming in 1-0.
I tell you what, Marlena comes to throw down, and so does Maya. Maya has seen her fight kickboxing at Rise of a Warrior. Man, it was like a nasty video of her where she's like doing head movements. She's like, like, you know, it's one thing to like slip, but she like slip, pulled, and like put her hands down while she did it. She was moving, so she's comfortable on the feet. I think this is going to be a little brawl. I think Marlene is a purple belt, but I have not seen her. She hasn't really. She used it a little bit of grappling against she fought Sarah, but I mean, that first round is going to be exciting. I know that much.
Man, I remember Marlena Drain actually kind of impressed me in her first fight with Sarah Redenbaugh. She's extremely built. She's a very strong person. And when she was touching, she had Sarah hurt multiple times. She cracked her right on the button, but she was so much shorter, she couldn't follow up. When Sarah would pull out, she would just be hitting air. But Marlena is strong. She has power in that right hand. She's a little like choppy, like she lacks fluidity, but everything is like piston like it punches through, as opposed like she lacks in flow, she has in like, I guess, explosion, you know. Maya, like you said, finesse, good head movement, fading out, hands low, kind of letting her motion do the work for her. So we're gonna have a clash of styles in striking there, but if Drain can get this to the floor as a purple belt, you have to assume that she's going to have the advantage there.
We got some activity over here at the hacienda, and at the same time, my girl's watching the newest episode of The Last of Us, and she just got to the climax of the show, and so she's sending me lots of messages about how that goes down.
Oh my God!
Yeah, she's like, I can't believe it.
Timmy just walked out here with a Wagyu ribeye, showed it
Nice.
to me just to walk away.
I gotta get in the crew house. What is going on?
Well, the crew house will have you sleep. The crew house will have you sleeping on a pallet on the ground.
Mattress. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, this is a Fort Lauderdale show. I can drive home after dinner.
How far away from Fort Lauderdale are you?
Hour.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
An hour is. I didn't realize you were that far from Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
I thought you were further. I was thinking I was gonna be thinking like an hour and a half.
Nah, hour and a half would be like Stewart, maybe almost Port St. Lucie.
Okay, I feel like Port St. Lucie is usually about 2 hours for me.
Yeah.
All right, the next fight we're going to talk about is a bantamweight bout: Hayden Brinkley and Danny Sedano. Hayden Brinkley making his debut, and Danny Sedano looking for his first victory.
I'm interested about this fight. At Wayne's, they were all smiles, a little gee gaga. Shook hands, and then when Danny went and shook my hand and turned away, he shook my hand and said, "He's got a weak handshake." Walked off.
Man, this is something that we are always assessing as men whenever we're meeting each other.
It's a trick. You know who has a drippy, wet handshake? Jeff Munson. One of the weakest handshakes I've ever had, and that man will fucking kill you.
Same with El Acevedo. That man got the most limpiest, like, oh, my strong hand.
Yeah, but you know what? At least he catches your whole hand. He just don't squeeze it. I don't like when people catch your fingertips.
Oh yeah,
or something, and it's weak.
Or this one where they just kind of like pinch your fingers, like.
Get out of here.
So it doesn't have to be a man off, like squeezing the hell out of it, but
the good news is we find out tomorrow regardless.
Yes, sir.
So.
Now, Hayden is representing Gleason T-Bow MMA. Now, I didn't know that T-Bow had a gym here in America, and he's coming out from Dallas. We don't know if that's where he's based or if that's just where he's from. I know T-Bow just got back from coaching at Spitfire Gym in Berlin. He's coaching some of the guys that I coached in Frankfurt. So I have an idea of some of the things that he'd be bringing home with him. That gym actually employed Pereira's early striking coach, who kind of developed that high power torque style. So you got to assume if this is one of his students and they've been training together recently, he's going to be bringing in some of those little finesse pieces back from Europe. But Gleason T-Bow, as we know, is a high-end power wrestler.
Yeah, I think Hayden's going to grapple. He's a young kid. I know all the guys he works with seem like he's going to grapple. Or he might just keep the grappling from happening and stay behind a jab. I'm excited for this fight because Sedano's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. And I just know that he's been hanging out with, Hayden's been hanging out with Sydney Outlaw, Gleason. So I wouldn't be surprised if wrestling is the plan. But I'm interested to see if it might just be make sure Sedano can't get him down. Sedano's last fight, cardio was in question. He looked good today. He has a tendency to go balls to the wall for the first round, and then cardio gets him. So let's see if he can control that pace, control his breathing, his emotions, and if you can finish somebody real quick, cool. But if you don't finish him and you don't got the gas after, you're in trouble.
It's true.
All right. Before that, another bantamweight bout is Raboni Rambo Mason and Christopher Roca Garcia.
Okay, can I say this? Raboni Mason impressed me from the first time I saw him. He's mature with his hand placement. He's good with his fundamentals. He's not dropping his hands. He's not exposing his face. He's managing his distance behind his jab. His footwork is very set. He chops good leg kicks. He can dig an uppercut so low, he can uppercut you in the balls, which has happened.
Yes.
And he packs a punch. He is a product of MMA Science Academy, which is Roger Crawl, Troy, and some of the other experienced guys from under there. And they are known for their striking. That is an extremely sharp gym. Roger Crawl is also Amanda Nunez's striking coach. That gives you a reference point. And this kid thumps. He's not afraid to get cracked. He has power in all of his appendages. And, dude, he fights rough. He fights violent. He's a good watch.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this fight. Chris Garcia is still in high school. He's 1-0. Rambo has got a mouth on him, and he's always got something to say, and he's a clown. He's entertaining. He's funny. I really like having Rambo fight with us. I'm happy we're able to get him a good fight, and I think Chris Garcia is bringing the fight. He didn't back down at all today. At all. Yeah, he was giving Rambo the business at face-offs. It was kind of funny. So I think it's going to be a really good, entertaining fight. Garcia's a young kid. Rambo's young.
Garcia's still in high school.
Yeah. Said he lied about where he was today so he can make face-offs.
That's crazy.
So that's dope. I'm excited for that fight, though.
And if you haven't seen the moments from our face-offs today, make sure you check us out on Instagram. All of those reels and stuff are hitting over there. That's at Combat Night MMA. So make sure you check that out. Before those gentlemen face off, there's going to be a lightweight MMA bout. Taj Barker versus Aiden Murray. Taj making his debut. And Aiden Murray, a one-fight veteran of Rise of the Warrior. And he is 1-0.
Aiden Murray is 2-0.
Yes, sir.
And he also has some kickboxing or Muay Thai fights as well.
Yeah. So Aiden Murray is 2-0 in Muay Thai, 1-0 in kickboxing, 2-0 in MMA. His first fight was only 12 seconds, and his second fight was 37. He trains at my gym for wrestling and does his striking at FKA, but he might be the single most violent guy I've ever trained.
He's pretty intense when he fights.
Yeah, man.
I'm actually impressed that, I said it earlier, freedom fighters guys always come to fight. They always come to throw down. Usually heavy grappling schools. They usually got pretty good grappling down there. But they also are not afraid to thump. Think Yoel Romero. That's where Yoel spent the majority of his career. So think about the way Yoel fights. And so I'm excited. Him and Aiden, they knew about Aiden's 2 fights. Taj making his debut. I told him, hey, Aiden just won a second fight, quick, under a minute. And they were like, yeah, we're ready. We're ready for the fight.
And not even that. That was 2 fights in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
This will be his third fight in 7 weeks, I think, maybe 6.
Smart.
He's a
Stay busy.
machine.
If you're healthy, stay busy. I wish more fighters did it.
I mean, when you're only fighting 12 and 37 seconds, you know.
Yeah, a lot still goes into the camp, though.
Yeah, 100%. You know, I would like to see Aiden more, but his striking is so crispy. It's been able to, you know, he hasn't really had to test the other areas. He does a lot of anti-wrestling with Coach Avto, and for sure with a freedom fighters guy on the other side of the cage, he's gonna have to anti-wrestle. Taj is gonna come forward. You know, he's I believe he's 9-3 or 6-3 in terms of his grappling record, which is his competition background. 9 wins, 6 by points, 3 by submission. So we have to assume that he is a control-based grappler at his core, but that's exactly what he's going to need for a guy like Aiden Murray. He's going to have to stop the onslaught, shut down the flurry to try and make anything happen. If not, Aiden is going to just pound holes in him, like as he does.
All right, before that, we have a flyweight bout between Leonardo the Lion Leon and Jair Campo, the Sicario.
Those camps are very close, MMA Science and Fight Sports Deerfield. Troy used to train with Fight Sports. Now he's over at MMA Science teaching the wrestling and the grappling. Jair's got a lot of kickboxing fights. He's like 6-1 or 7-1. I believe his only loss was against a guy on Combat Night. And then he made his MMA debut. He's 0-1 in MMA, I believe. And then the guy he's fighting, man, Leon, that guy comes to fight. He gets better every time he's in the cage. Right now he's 2-1. I love him. I got a lot of respect for him. He tells me he just wants to fight for me and please get him a fight. And he's mad respectful. I love working with him. Both the guys are actually great to work with. So I'm looking forward to this fight. I love both of these camps. They're like family to me in the martial arts world.
Man, Leo is going to make this boy wrestle. If his kickboxing is clean, Leo's going to make him wrestle.
Yeah, Leo's good at going where it needs to be.
Yes, sir. The Peruvians are known for a power striking style. Watch them all the way up into the ranks. It's almost like a machismo, you know? But Leo has no issue mixing it up. He trains with Matt Waggy, Charles McCarthy, Charles Rosa at American Combat Gym. He is well versed on the ground, and he is able to put pressure on and keep pressure on. If you guys have seen his previous fights, he is all gas, no brakes. He's throwing overhands, hooks, hammers, and takedowns at all times. And which is one of the reasons why I love this weight class. 125, 135, in my opinion, are the best fighters. Because the small guys are always more technical, and they never get tired. You know, if Jair can, however, control the range using his striking background, keeping Leo at bay behind his longer weapons, and Leo can't power through them, we're going to see, obviously.
All right, before that, there's a kickboxing bout between Oliver Maitrey and Ryan James, the State King, versus the Big O. Oliver coming in with a 5-1 record, Ryan 2-2.
Yeah, Ryan actually asked us for this fight. I know Oliver's good. I know he has good striking. I know RJ does too. I know RJ's a dog. He gets in there, slugs it out. Regardless, he's always down to throw down. So Oliver hasn't fought for us yet. I'm excited to see what happens.
Man, RJ is a junkyard dog. He's always in there. He's throwing down. He's never taking a step back. Pretty, not pretty, brawly, doesn't care, just throwing with mean efficiency. Now, I haven't seen Oliver fight, but one of his close friends and training partners is an ex-student of mine, and he tells me Oliver is the truth. I believe he fought for a title down south and got robbed in the decision, but that's all speculation. But the kid's 5-1 for a reason. He is athletic, he is strong, and he is not afraid to let his weapons fly. You know, if I remember correctly, Oliver has been trying to get in Combat Night for a minute, and was taking. Yeah, he's taking fights on the outside, going, "Hey, man, pay attention to me. I do work." And, I guess he got your attention.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him fight.
All right, I'm going to skip around a little bit on the beginning part of the card. I'm going to jump to the kickboxing at 170. Yevgeny, he wrote out exactly how to pronounce his name.
Yevgeny. Yeah.
Yevgeny.
He's Russian?
Yevgeny, yeah, the Russian man. He had an intense look about him at the face-offs, and he's going to be facing Jaime Alvarado. Jaime looks like he's making his debut, and Yevgeny has one fight under his belt, a loss. Both of these guys 33 years old, so be interesting.
They're old amateurs.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see these guys get in there. They both look pretty intense at the face-offs.
Yeah, I don't know much about the Russian, but I know that Jaime has been around for a long time. He's been at Combat Nights for as long as I can remember. I think back when Josh Mercado was making his amateur debut with us. So I'm excited to see him finally make his debut because he's just been around for so long. And I think it's a good, fair matchup for two older cats to get in there and mix it up and have a good time.
I'm seeing all these older guys on cards, and I'm like, I feel pretty good.
Yeah, but you got to fight pro.
I know. I don't want to fight an amateur. That'd be rude.
And illegal.
hey, rules were made to be broken, my friend.
So I'm just peeking around. Is there any other fights that you guys are really looking forward to that we have not discussed?
I wanna highlight one of our early card kickboxing matches. Corey Wint versus Junior Quinones. Obviously, I am biased here as I am Corey Wint's coach, but Corey is a pleasure to work with. He is one of the most coachable gentlemen that I've had the pleasure of working with. When you get a fighter and he goes, "Hey, coach, this is my goal. How do I get there?" And you give them simple instructions, and then they just go and do it, right? It's an anomaly. That's Corey.
Yeah, it's good.
Like, he hasn't
He's
even
young
been training all
too.
that long. Like, yeah, maybe he's a year and a half in, maybe inching up on 2, and his maturity in competition is commendable. He made his MMA debut when originally looking for a kickboxing match. And he made that debut against an opponent with a winning record and over 9 fights. And ended up TKOing him in the second. That is a very mature way to start out your career. And now he's getting to kickbox, which is what he was looking for originally. Now, I know we don't know anything about Junior. He is making a debut. From what I hear, he's strong and a boxer. That's all we got to go with. So I'm excited to see what he brings to the table.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. I know that the guys out of Felix's camp are all that Spanish style, Mexican style boxing. They're gonna come forward. They're gonna thump. Yeah, I'm interested in that fight. I've seen Corey for a minute now, coming up, and both young cats too. It's nice whenever the ages are the same. If you get an older guy and a younger guy, sometimes the older guy's wisdom and strength gets the better of it. But I like the fact they're both young, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, sure.
That's it for me, though. I see a steak just came off the grill. There's some ice cream in the house, and your boy's gonna go get some of that.
Hey, did you before you leave, Mitchell? Was there any other fights you want to talk about in terms of upcoming cards or anything like that?
Yeah, May 17th. We're 3 weeks away. Just started dropping all these matchups. Crazy matchups, guys. We got so many amazing fighters on that card. We got Gabriella Golfin versus Stephanie Stone Cold Calderon. We got Corey Taylor fighting for the Florida man belt. He is going up against Theron Thorne. We got Sham Delva. We've got so many. Devin
Who's
Cole.
main eventing this card?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would. I really would. That's why I asked.
So subscribe.
Wouldn't y'all all like to know who's gonna main event in Jacksonville?
So, what is the Florida Man title? Is that like Like, what
It's the
is it a new
baddest
thing?
title in combat sports. That's what the Florida man title is. What's
It's
the
the
baddest
real
state?
BMF?
What's the baddest state in the country? Florida. What's
No
the baddest
questions
man
asked.
in the country? A Florida man. That's what that is. Yeah, I think it's an honor to be the Florida man, the champion of the Florida mans. Like, you can be a Florida man, but to be a champion of the Florida
You got to
man.
wrestle an alligator.
Oh, that's funny because that's what Corey does for a living. So,
Really?
yep. He
What
goes
does he
out and
do?
traps gators and teaches jujitsu.
No kidding.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So him, his buddy, blue collar brawler, Mike Dragic, is making his pro debut with us. That card is just stupid. That card's stupid from top to bottom. The amateur fights too. There's not a single bad fight on that card.
Man, we were talking about this before you jumped on. I was saying Jacksonville is consistently high performing.
Yeah, but Jacksonville includes a lot of Orlando fighters. Orlando is the best. There's no doubt about it. Miles
Come
convinced me 100%.
on.
Who do we bring everywhere? We bring Orlando fighters to
They got the
Jacksonville,
shortest drive.
to Tallahassee. We bring them to both places.
I remember
then
a couple of years back, you were making a big deal like that. Like, my team was one of the few ones that went to all the stops.
Yes.
And now that I'm on the road with you guys, I'm like, oh man, like, people really are like, I don't drive. No.
Yeah. Which is crazy. You should be driving. You should be getting in that experience of fighting in someone else's hometown, not having your kitchen, not having your girl, not having all the little luxuries that you get fighting at home.
If you're doing a good job, you're gonna be in hotels.
Yeah.
I was
One
telling
day.
Kurt that. I want to get Kurt to fight on the road.
Yeah. Got to do it. It's a especially when you have the opportunity to do it. Like whenever I was coming up in the sport, we just fought wherever the fight was able to happen at. A lot of times we didn't have hometown cards. It was out of town a lot. So
you didn't have options back in the day. Like in my era, if you got like 10 fights in your career, they were like, yo, you've been around.
True that. All right, Mitchell, I just want to give you a moment to talk about the upcoming card. You said you kind of wanted to preview that.
Yes, I'm gonna cut out.
All right, thanks for joining us, bud. All right, so
steak sounds good. I can't even.
And Angel already made a bunch of steak, and Tim is just trying to get his weight up, so he needed to make himself another one.
Man, you know, I'm at the house at the wrong events.
All right, so tomorrow night, if you want to check us out, if you don't have tickets and you can't be here in Fort Lauderdale, you can get the pay-per-view from combatnight.com. It's also in a link in our YouTube page, so if you go to our homepage, hit that subscribe button, and our link for our pay-per-views is listed right there, where you can hear me and the three-job having Ben Stark joining us when he can, and Miles, of course, who was at one of his kids' recital tonight, so he couldn't be with us on the pre-show. And
man,
we'll be back
Miles
on.
Really is a jack of all trades. He is a standout dad. He's a teacher. He's a fitness guy. He's a fighter. He is a Santa Claus to the masses. What can't Miles do?
You know,
he even says he has the best beard in Combat Night. How do you feel about that?
Well, you know, I just let I let these guys, argue over the scraps. I already got the looks.
We both know the Hulk Hogan stash is where it's at, player.
when I grow mine out, but I'm in the running for sure.
You can go full Abe Lincoln. Nope, screw the mustache, bro. Just bring it out.
Well, I barely have one anyway, so
it's stylish. Good.
It's just all I got. I saw some questions. I think we want to tend to some of the questions we have over here.
Well, in the meantime, while you are reading questions, I want to give a big shout out to our coaches, our teams, and the people that are working our event. You guys are the reason it works out. You guys are the ones who train the fighters and make them as talented and skilled as they are. So thank you for that, because without we wouldn't have awesome shows. So keep up the good work out there, South Florida.
We had kind of a broad question, not related to any particular event, from White Rice. He
Okay.
asked, "Who's the best combat night fighter ever?"
Ever?
Ever.
I mean, who's gone the farthest?
So, I think we've had a handful of guys that have gone a similar distance. I want to say who's having the most success right now in the UFC is probably like Trey Waters or
Trey Waters, Yuba Kasuba just won the
Cuba,
PFL Europe belt.
Cuba holding it down for multiple and title defenses on that, and still undefeated.
Cuba's defending his title.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing really good in Europe. So, I mean, I gotta assume that he is probably our front runner in this moment. Like, he has an international belt.
Yeah, that is solid case can be made for Cuba Kazuba for sure, and he took maybe his first 5 or 6, pro fights with us. So, yeah, you can make a case for him. I wonder who White Rice thinks is the best combat night fighter of all time.
I mean, if I make my comeback, it'll be me.
Oh, you're gonna make your debut and be our best fighter ever at the same time,
dude. I'm just too charismatic. Okay. Do you see this oddly shaped bald head? Do you see the salt and pepper Hulk Hogan mustache? I mean, what are we really talking about here? You know what I'm saying, Ramsey? I'm a social anomaly.
All right, Mitchell jumped in the chat. He said, "I would agree with Cuba for current greatest all-time fight is Elwil Acevedo." Elwil fought with us once or twice, thrice. He's the head coach at Tough as Nails.
Oh, he's probably before my time.
Oh yeah, he's definitely before your time.
Well, now I'm curious. Now,
yeah.
And he fought back in like 2015. Okay.
Yeah, he's way back in the day. You have to, I guess at one point it's like, oh, who's just making it to the UFC would have put you in that category in terms of like in the runnings. But now that we've had, several guys make it to the UFC, like it is appropriate to start analyzing the success that they're having at that level. So,
yeah, man. Now we also can't ignore, some of our real true legends. Not just one individual, but two. The Daniel Donaldson squared.
mm-hmm.
We have in the same night a father/promoter make the walk not just into the Combatagon, but the Combatagon at his own event, following what could possibly be the most stressful thing for a parent to deal with in a sporting activity, which was his son coming off the camera stand to fight a dude whose opponent didn't show up to weigh-ins.
Oh.
Like, what? Now, no, I don't know if you guys were online today, but I believe Combat Night re-released the video. When Daniel Donaldson Jr. won his fight, he jumped up on the cage and pulled a bottle of Fireball out from his cup and drank it. He drank Fireballs. He drank his own Fireballs.
Yeah, I think he was so thirsty to have some contact with testicles.
The taste of victory, my friend. The taste of victory.
I see Microgreens Jack's coming in hot, calling out Mitchell in the chat. Says he won't even fight. He says he won't even fight, but likes to put fighters who put themselves on the line on blast and try to embarrass them on Insta.
Wait, what's the backstory here?
I don't know who that is.
Microgreens Jax?
Hey, Mitchell said, jump on the show, Microgreens. We'll send you a link.
Well, he's being antagonized in the chat.
Well, there's one thing that you have to say about Mitchell. If I don't know how fresh they are to this scene or whatever, but Mitchell's not really going to ask anybody to do something that he hasn't done. And if nobody has there's footage of him that exists, and if nobody's ever gone out of their way to make a clip of him not doing well in a fight, well, that's on them. That's on that promotion.
Man, I mean, if I remember correctly, Mitchell flew to Singapore to corner Troy Worthen, and at weigh-ins, someone missed weight. So Troy stepped up to fight John Lineker, and Mitchell stepped up to fight Troy's opponent, who, if I remember correctly, was like 12-3, while Mitchell had been retired for 4 or 5 years. Like, that's some pretty hefty cojones. Hold on, Microgreens Jack is 12.
It definitely is.
He says.
Yeah.
No.
He's jumping on his 3rd tier burner.
You think that's Donaldson talking shit?
I think he's got a burner account for every city. I don't know which Donaldson it is, but
You definitely think it's a Donaldson?
it's got to be. It's got Donaldson vibes, and it has micro
really
in its
does,
name. So
We know he likes the money.
Hey, if it's micro, it's a Donaldson. Am I right, you guys? Hey-o.
All right. Well, I hope everybody will join us tomorrow on the pay-per-view to check out these exciting fights that we have coming up. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, and on all of our platforms. Go show our TikTok some love too. But thanks for joining us. And Micro Green said none of y'all want the smoke. But I tell you where they didn't want the smoke, Coach Ben, is whenever we stepped out back. We have a basketball hoop at this house, and it was ugly.
Who was putting up numbers?
What's that?
Wait, who was running the court?
I didn't lose. How is it not ugly?
Oh.
It was a bit extreme. He says I'm
Ramsey was
overstating
putting
the
up
success
numbers.
I had today when I didn't lose.
So it really looks like Microgreen Jax wants to get a fight in tomorrow. He has challenged every single one of us.
He was taking a beating on the ropes, and then he had a miraculous throw.
Caden gave me the most run that I got today.
Damn, that's disrespectful.
All of these elite athletes that are over here turned into having multiple left hands.
I mean, let's be honest. If fighters could make the millions of dollars that football and basketball players were making, they would.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for joining us, Ben.
Always a
Later,
pleasure,
guys.
Ramsey. I'll see you tomorrow.